Okay, we've got our animation notifies set up. We're ready to actually start doing something with our notifies. I'm going to close out of all of our assets except for footsteps notify. And here we're printing a string for the bone name. But instead of doing that, we can go ahead and start doing something a little more exciting, such as playing a sound. So we can play a sound, and we're going to play a sound at the location of the bone that we get in the notify. So we can get the location of a particular bone by dragging off of our mesh component. Received notify automatically has access to the mesh component, and we can use get socket location. And for this, we pass in the bone name. Now for get socket location, we can go ahead and play a sound at location. So we're going to say play sound at location and use that node and pass in that location, and we can simply select a footstep sound. So for now, we're just going to select a footstep sound. Let's choose, say, footstep wood 2 and compile this. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how it looks with sounds. So I'm going to go ahead and start running, and I'm getting some footsteps, and so that sounds pretty good. Now, because of the current bug where we can't use those sync markers with blend spaces, we might get a couple of footsteps that are too close to each other. So that's unfortunately something that we'll have to deal with until Epic fixes that bug, and we can be sure that our blend spaces will only use one of the sets of anim notifies at a time. But that's not a huge deal right now. For now, we can keep working with these, and we can start to set this up to where we use different sounds per surface. Now, before we wrap this up, I'm going to go ahead and also spawn a particle at the location of our bone, so we can see that this is working. So I'm going to go ahead and add a node. It's going to be spawn system at location. And for the location, we're going to use this socket location. And for the system, we can select one of these particle systems. These are Niagara systems that came with the package we downloaded. So let's go ahead and try one of these. We can try really any one of these that we want. We can start with the dirt surface. So let's hit play and see how this looks. And there we have some dirt spawning. And so that looks pretty good. So there's going to be some little bit of gravel and dirt kicked up on the foot bone, and so that is going to make things look a bit more realistic. So we now have this system set up to where we can play a sound and spawn a particle at the location of the feet. We're now ready to start using those surface types so that we can play a different sound and spawn a different particle per surface type that we're standing on. So we'll get started working on that in the next video. I'll see you then.